So today we are going to learn about the bioreactor basics. So bioreactor is basically a instrument which is used for the fermentation at a higher level, in which a control conditions are provided with the pH, temperature and the air and DO regulations. We can control the conditions whatever the requirement with the speed and temperatures, and this is used for optimization of the product yield. For a fermenter is also known as bioreactor also. This is the glass chamber of the bioreactor, in which you can see this is the whole unit in which you do the culturing or a microbial growth or product formation. It is attached with another unit which is known as controller of the bioreactor. This is the whole control panel in which we can control the agitation, we can control temperature, we can control pH, DO and the air or the supply of the gases. If you want to do the anaerobic condition, you can purge the N2, CO2 or other oxygen you want to give. So this is the different of the parameters you can use. This controller unit attached with a airflow controller with the LPM in air liter per minute. We can maintain here from the 0 to 10 how much the air is required to be there inside. And other part are the pumps in which acid, base and other field or the antifoam additions can be done by this pump controller. This is the pump you can see in this display. There is a pump 1, pump 2, pump 3 with different set points. You can add and put up the whatever the requirement of add. It is like you have to set this first as an acid, second pump as a base or third pump as an antifoam. Or sometimes you have to add the volume. Volume add basically the feed volume. You have to add some kind of feed or media. So you can select the pump as volume add. If you want to take out the sample, you can use a harvest in which the sample or the fermented broth can be taken out by using these pumps. So these are the helpful for maintaining, controlling the sterile environment. You do not have to open the reactor and take it out the sample or the things. These are the pumps directly attached with the reactor, and you can directly take in the sample or volume or everything which is required. Similarly, this is the pH and other DO controllers are there. Okay, and this is the agitation in which you can select the agitation from 100 to 900 or 1000 maximum capacity of it. Similarly, you can maintain the temperature whatever the requirement up to 60 degrees C, and below you can go for the 12 or 8 degrees C. And for controlling of the agitation, there is a motor is attached over here, which is inverted motor, and the agitator is inside with the attachment of the impeller. Impeller are basically, this is a disc Ruston type impeller. Different type of the impellers are used for the process according to the requirement of the fermenter. Here is the disc turbine type like the Ruston type. Now this motor will rotate and increase the speed. Now we can run it like if I set on the 100 rpm, it will move it. If I set 200 rpm, you can see there is a agitation starts inside there. Now you can visualize how the mixing of the medium can be done by this agitating rotor. Second, for maintaining the temperature, there are requirement of maintaining temperature at 30 degree 37 for fungus bacteria. So basically there is a requirement of high heat and low temperature materials, like you can use the water for chilled water for lowering down the temperature, and a heater for increasing the temperature. For increasing temperature, there is a heater down to the whole unit of this bioreactor. This is a heater. This will heat up the temperature when it is required to be high. And now it is attached with a controller unit. This is refrigerator circular, which has the lower temperature. You can set it at 4. You can set it at 4 degrees centigrade. After that, this supply of this pipe is going inside the controller unit, which will control how much the flow of the chilled water go inside and maintain the temperature required. If the temperature is high, it will lower down and maintain the in between the temperature that is the actual requirement. Similarly, you can see this is the reactor of double jacketed system. Inside is the main fermenter unit, in which the jar is there. Outside is the outer jacket unit. This jacket is filled with water, and this water is maintained to maintain the temperature. and the chilled water go inside this, and heater will heat up this water, outer jacket water only, and accordingly the heat will diffuses out inside the fermenter main jar, and then the mixing of this material will happen. Secondly, there is another unit for mixing known as baffles. You can see there is a outer steel like apparatus is there, which you can see these are known as baffles. So these are required to homogeneously mix the whole medium. If you own only the without the baffle, what happens? There is a cyclone or non-homogeneous mixing of the medium will happen, and the diffusion and transfer of the oxygen, air, and the heat not being the stable, and when you see there is agitation only center but not at the outer region. What happen in this case? When the outer jacket increase the temperature but it will not go inside, and the thermometer is not stable, so there is a fluctuations of the temperature for the whole medium. So that baffles are required for homogeneous mixing of the medium, so that the whole mass transfer happens to the all kind of the cells equally. After that, this is a control unit. You can control the pH. This is the line of the pH controller. You can see a probe going inside, dip is inside there. And this pH probe helps you to maintain and find out how much the pH inside there. This will directly, you can easily visualize. Right now the pH of this medium is 6.29. If you want to set it at 4.10, like 4.10 pH, so what is the basic requirement to add the acid? So this acid will go from this acid bottle, this one. This is basically the 2 to 5 molar of the H2SO4 or HCl, in which through the pump, by this flow of the pump for a small volume, directly this pump pour down the small volume of the acid, and mixing will happen, and it will increase the it will decrease the pH whatever the requirement, like 4 acid is required. If you want to add or increase, like you want at 8.0, so what happen, the base is required, another pump line of the base will automatically, this pump will on, and directly it will fill up, and directly it will drop down the base, and by this acid and base combination of the pumps, the pH of the medium is maintained. After that, you have to maintain the temperature. I already told the heater and the mechanism of this cooling jacket. Now for this is a probe of the temperature, dip inside this main jar, and directly show you the how much the temperature right now inside. You can see here right now the temperature of this is present value is 25.5. If you want to go for 30 and switch it on, so you can see directly there is a heater will start, and this agitation magnetic bead is inside there. This is a magnetic heater which uniformly distribute the heat to the outer jacket, so that you can maintain the temperature outside by heating. If the temperature is required low, then the condenser unit will start to flow, and the chilled water go inside. Okay. Similarly, now we have learned many things. Now another unit is there. This is known as the level sensor, in which it will maintain the level up to the 2 liter volume. This is the 2 liter working volume fermenter, in which when the volume goes too high, or the foam is there and some kind of the level will touch at this point, it will directly sense and give you an alarm or something that level is high, and this is required to be maintained lower than. This will help you to maintain the working volume of the fermenter. And you can see there is another probe is there. This is known as DO probe. This is used to maintain the dissolved oxygen of the medium, in which it is directly connected with the this inside to the fermenter jar, and it will maintain by a membrane which is passing the oxygen to the electrolyte, and it will help to find out the how much the dissolved oxygen inside there. And you can directly measure. Right now there is the dissolved oxygen 31.8, and when it is 100, that the full air is inside, full oxygen is inside. To basically maintain to condition where the aerobic conditions are required, so you have to give the oxygen and maintain the whatever the requirement. When it is anaerobic also, it will help you out to find out the how much the oxygen is consumed. Like right now it is 31.8. In condition anaerobic and bacteria is consuming the oxygen, it will reduce down. It will help you to find out whatever the inside the oxygen level for the separation of for the calculation of OWR, OUR, OR, other things. After that, you have to see one more thing. There is a condenser unit or condenser line is there, which is attached with a sterile filter. Whatever the main part of this fermenter is the condenser line also. This is attached with the chilled refrigerator. What is the use of this? Basically, when there is a fermentation happens, some of the gases and the volume and the vapors will evaporate it out. So what happens, to maintain the working volume as same as, you have to chill all the gases or vapors to be condensed down again into the medium. This have the condensed unit with the chill temperature around 4. So whenever there kind of the volatile compound you are working like some ethanol, so it will evaporate it out and condense here, and only with the CO2. When CO2 produced with the yeast fermentation, ethanol will also come out. At this condition, what happens? This gas will take it out, evaporated ethanol, and condenser will condense only the ethanol to down again back inside there, and whatever the volume of the vapors will go inside. And this filter will make the sterile condition, and only the CO2 or other gases will come out, and the volume again become stable. After that, there is another line which is, you can see, this is attached with the third pump, which is directly used for the feeding of the microorganism or the culture. When it is a sterile condition is already maintained, you directly cannot open and add your culture like micropipette. So there is a feeding line in which directly, this is not going down to dip in the medium to maintain the sterile condition. This is only to this upper level. Now you can see this only touches at this upper level, and when there is a pump is on, directly the feed medium go inside and drop down directly inside there. And if you want to see how it works, I can run it directly right now by using the pump, and you just have to select the pump. So this is the pump 3, whatever the requirement like 5 ml per minute, and you just have to switch it on, and this should be required to add as volume add. Now you can see here there is a medium going up, and you can see the flow of the volume of your culture is going through this pipeline. Okay, so until it will not come into this line, we will learn about the sampling tube. So there is another line which is required to take the sample, because at the time of fermentation you cannot take the sample by opening it. You have to take a line. From there you can take out the sample, how much the requirement at every interval of time. This line is directly dipped inside here, and directly there is a stop cock is there, in which it will not pass the medium to inside, only you can take it out only. So this is another design prepared by this company, in which you just have to take the sample like this. It will go, okay, and this will close. So when you remove it, so there is no medium goes out, and nothing is going down. Okay. So now you can see, you can take the sample anywhere in medium or something, and again you can directly fit it back. So this will help you to maintain the sterile condition and take out the sample whatever the requirement over there. Now you can see there is a tip inside the medium right now. Now you can see the flow is this point. This line is dropping down your feed. You can see here drop. Okay, so this line is working to feed the medium or culture like inoculum. After the completion, we just have to go to the pump. We just have to switch it off this level. Okay, you just have to switch off. Now it is finished with this inoculum preparation, inoculum addition. After that, whatever the another unit is there, sparger line. Sparger line is used to give the condition of provide the gases like air, or maybe you can give the nitrogen, oxygen and CO2 according to these port lines. So these are the 4 port lines which are going inside. These are the inlets in which you can put the air, oxygen, nitrogen and CO2. While this dispersal line is the outlet of the whole gases. If you want to out the gases, it will go from air inside. Controller will maintain how much percentage. Like see, you can maintain the percentage also. Like 100 right now I have set the 100%. You can change it also, like whatever the like 50% or something like that. So this is the mixture of the gases you can directly put inside. Sometimes you require oxygen is high, nitrogen is less, because air have the standard combinations, but if you want to make the combination of other 3, you can change accordingly whatever the requirement. After that you just have to switch it on whatever the requirement. It will directly, air will go inside. Red wala, so just switch it on. Yes. I don't know. एयर है नहीं इसमें, अभी है नहीं, छोड़े उसको काट देना तुम्हें। क्या हो क्या रहा है? Okay, now if there is a sparser unit, you can see that this is a sparser line and it is attached with a sterile filter, so that the sterile gas will go inside only, and this is directly go to the bottom. You can see a loop like structure in which small holes are there. These are required to give the uniform bubble like air inside there. When you start and switch it on here, you can just switch it on like air. It will directly show there is around 2 lpm of the air is inside, and directly you can see here the bubbles going inside to provide the oxygen inside. If you want to mix the oxygen, you just have to add the agitation with this. So now you can see how it is reacting inside with the uniform mixing of the air inside there. And after some time, when the air is too high, this DO will increases up. Okay. I'm just switching it off now. You can see there is no bubble and there is a LPM is less. After that, after learning all these points, there some other points are also there. I want to add up these things. These are the another port. You can see a rubber septa is there. Why it is required for there? Sometimes at the time of fermentation, you want foam is present inside there, and you already attached this feed line. So how to add sterile antifoam inside there? You just filter the antifoam by 0.2 micron sterile filter, and by using a syringe with the septa, you directly press it and it will go inside. Okay. By this port, you can add some other compounds or some other medium or something that is sterile and directly septa. Septa is used so that ample can go inside without any contamination. After that, all the ports are there. You can see some other ports are there which are required to add other probes. Like if you want to add CO2 probe or other, you can see 2-3 ports are extra ports are given for providing other parameters, conditions you have to give it there. Okay. Now after completion for inlet, there is a requirement of the outlet. How to harvest the medium after completion of this whole reaction or fermenter batch. When the batch is completed and you have switched it off, agitation and all, when you switch it off the all agitation and all, now you require to harvest it. So for harvesting, there are 2 methods. One is to generating the vacuum and second to give the air pressure. So when it is required to take it out directly, you can just take the syringe and directly press it. I will show you. Like providing a vacuum, you can see, you can take a small closed container and directly harvesting is there. Okay, you just have to maintain the gravity and the vacuum bore. Similarly, there is another method in which vacuum is not required. You have to give the extra air pressure inside this fermenter. and all the ports are closed, you are adding up the some air, the partial pressure increases, and the whole air pressure will fall out with this opening, only single opening of harvest line. So hold the medium with the air pressure automatically go out and directly inside there. So using the without vacuum or something, you can use both kind of them according to your sterile environment and the medium you are going to take it out. Sometimes when there is a culture of high mycelium or something that is not coming directly with choking and other things, then you have only to open the whole lid and then you have to take out the whole harvesting row. Okay, if you want to close like this, you just close from here also. Okay. Now after learning about all these part of this fermenter, whatever this unit and other things, now we have to learn about these three port of the water level. This is the line which is going inside main water and the supply go out, so that all the water will circulate it inside this controller. Second, there is two kind of the water supplies are required. One is going outside the water jacket of the vessel. Second is going for condenser to condense the volatile compounds. The vessel entry, and this is the outline, this is in, this is the return, and these are attached with this line. You can see here from the back side it is attached in an outlines. One directly you can flow the chilled water from this jacket, so that it will not be inside there for a longer period of time. It will maintain and it also helps you to remove out the heat water and directly putting up the chilled water, so that you can maintain the temperature. Similarly, for the condensed unit, you just have to connect these lines. You have to connect. Lower bottom is in one and the outer one is for the out, and directly you just have to circulate it, and these lines will help for the circulation of it, condenser all the time. Here is no controller, nothing is required. You just have to attach the point and on the chiller. So this is not controlled. This is not controlled at much according to temperature only, but other part are there, because you just have to maintain the temperature same as it is. But in this case, controller is required to maintain both kind of temperatures and how to change the flow of them. How to change the flow? You can see there is another point of output. There is the output percentage. Like if the requirement of this addition is high, so it will show the output percentage is like 50-60%. When the temperature, then the like 30 degree and you want to go for 50 degree, so it will give the high output. And when the temperature reaches 45, then it have to go up only for 5 degree, like 50. This output percentage reduces down, so that you just have to flow in between that 5 degree only, not the 20 degree increase. So accordingly, this help you to maintain controlling any kind of the parameter of this fermenter. You can run this as a batch fermenter totally for running any kind of batch with the working volume of up to 2 liters. And accordingly, for air supply, you can see there is a air compressor which is required to supply the air by this line inside, going through a silica absorber, so that there is no volatile or the liquid condense go inside. Only the fresh and air will go. Only the air particle will go inside by this line and go out by this spacer line. And these are the other ports to maintain the temperature, vessel levels, and exhaust lines. You can add like this heat blanket to maintain this heater, and sensor 1 and 2 for the pH and the DO probes. You can add this point as another sensor or other units also. This is whole basic of the fermenter from this to this. This is made up of the appendor. The model is BioFlow 120. Accordingly, if you go more than this number or volume, you can use the 2 liter, you can use the 4 liter, 5 liter, 7 liter, 10 liter of fermenters. And up to glass around, you can use the 10 liter of fermenter. If you want to go up more than 10 liter, you mostly require a steel fermenter, because the problem of the autoclaving and other things will happen at the uniform autoclaving, and up to the autoclave size you can put 10 liter fermenter. but not more than that. It required big autoclaves. So rather to use big autoclaves, use the fermenter with the steam line with the steel pipe. This is whole. And one more thing I want to add in this case, you can see the real time data of it, how it is working. You just have to go this graph line, and now you can see whatever the changes are there. If the temperature change, how it is changing, like up to with the time and the day. You can change like 1 day period what happened in this case. So you can see that the change of the each parameter, like going up or down by this day or the hour. You can go any like 30 days parameter. You can see how these parameters are changing accordingly in 30 days. And sample rate is 60 seconds, mean every 60 seconds it will take all the readings. And another part of it is there, you can export the whole data. Just clicking on export, you just have to put a USB drive. On the back side of it there is a port. You just have to put your USB for all the parameters, agitation, temperature, pH, and every data point of every 60 seconds it will be exported out from this data, and you can make a graph by yourself also from this part. Okay, so this is the helpful part of this whole. Sometimes if these are the auto culture mode in which two kind of the predefined E. coli and the CHO conditions are already in program inside there, you just have to on it directly. Does not require to put the values. It automatically program for E. coli, program for CHO cells. You can user define recipe, you can define any other recipe, so that you do not require to put the condition every time. You just have to put a name and everything. You have programmed it, and now it is showing here. You just play, then automatically all the condition will go to the fermenter by controller. And after that you can see there is a DO cascade to find out the role and other things of O2 and agitation. After that there is another thing for calibration. If you want to calibrate in before the experimentation, you have to calibrate the pH before the batch start. You have to calibrate the DO at the time of before the start also, and you have to polarize and optimize the DO after the autoclaving also. When you autoclave, there is a changes in the oxygen level. You have to stable it. You have to polarize the DO membrane probe, so that after it requires around 12 hours minimum time. After the autoclaving, when temperature reaches around lower than 40-30, then you just connect the DO probe line with this unit, and it will automatically polarize in 12 hours. After that it will show you the exact current and value. For calibration, there is two span points are there. The set 0 is the baseline, like you want to set at 7, and set span is span. Set span is the span from the 7 or 7 to high at 10 and 7 to low at 4. You just have to set the span whatever the range is required for pH to maintain, like 4 to 7. You just have to set the 4 here, 7 here. If you want to set the 7 to 10, you just have to set the 10, so it will go from 7 to 10. These are the calibrations. These are other levels of the, you can add some probe conditions or other probes are there. Then you have to add other things like CO2, reflux, other things you have to calibrate like CO2. So you have to add another level inside there. Right now pH and DO is there, agitation, temperature, and oxygen and air is there. You can run this batch up to many days, up to month directly without any interruption. You just have to put a UPS power supply, and directly you can run any batch for real time data extraction and graph preparation. This is the very much good instrument to be used for higher scale studies, for publishing papers and learning about the real batch fermentation, how it happens in the industry also. Thank you all for this batch fermentation basics.